Thank you for joining us on Talk to Them. I am your host, Kenitha Wade.
I'm your other host, Renauda Mitchell. And today we have...
Mark Boyer.
Mark Boyer.
And we'll start off with our, as usual, weekly check-in on how our week has been. I was, thinking about me and Renauda, so I wore my shirt today. And she didn't wear the shirt, but she's got the color on.
I wore the shirt yesterday. Mm-mm. Not yesterday, day before yesterday.
And so, but it's been a good week. Relatively speaking, it hasn't been bad. I was feeling really, really good. Like I was busy at work doing stuff that I haven't done in a while, getting in front of students and really doing outreach. And I had some busy days from first thing in the morning and working a little later than expected. And I did that almost every day. But I was busy all day, busy enough where I didn't even take a break.
And she didn't call me on Thursday.
So, so that felt good to feel like my time is being used, in a way that could be impactful instead of sometimes I'd be feeling like, God dang, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? And so just getting in front of some students was just reminding me of, why I am where I'm at and why it's important. And just feeling good. And yesterday we had a Renauda show and I was cracking up laughing because I'm always like, I'm available. I'll jump up and say, if something is missing, I'll go get it. I feel like if that's how I can help, let that be how I can help because I try to offer as much as I can. But at the same time, I'd be like, but y'all need to plan enough so that I don't have to offer to do that.
Yeah.
Run around.
Yesterday, it wouldn't have been what it was if we would have went to the mic the night before.
Yeah, and
so that was a little,
I know it's a domino effect.
Exactly.
And that's what the topic. That was the topic of the show last night. The storytelling event show was a domino effect, and so there were a lot of stories about that. But it was, kind of an eye opener for me of different ways that I can help out. And so I've got an idea on, things that I constantly see that we need last minute. Like, maybe I try to think about that stuff before and just have it ready or have it extra or something. If that's how I can help, that's how I can help.
Do you make notes about it or something so you can remember that stuff?
Try to.
Yeah. I'm a note person.
I'm horrible at where did I put the note?
Yeah. But I think the difference with that is the reason why you might not need to take a note is the experience of not having that thing. Like that'll stay with you like a sticky note in your head. So you're like, dang, like, yeah, we don't never want to. That's why we got double of stuff and now. But because of being like, dang, we don't have. One day you run out of batteries and you're like, oh my God. So now there's a whole pack more batteries than you need because just in case one day,
And it's not even that they didn't have it. It was just that somebody else had it and they weren't there and whatever. We didn't. So anyway, but the event itself, I think it was a good experience to just get up there and listen to stories. The stories were good. It was funny. Had me cracking up. It was nice for Bo to jump in and, it just worked out how it was supposed to work out.
What was this event? I don't know.
So I have a storytelling show that we're going to start doing it every other month with more people wanting to be on the show. But basically, I take two like artists and they go against two other like artists telling a story. They all get the same topic. Each of them come up with their own stories. Most people write a story to the topic. I think what's unique about the comedians is they take material or life stories they already have and apply that to the topic, which is what we had Comics vs. Comics last night. So it was a bunch of that and really good storytelling, even G's story. So last night G hosted and then we was supposed to be Lance and Dooley against Ikes and Drew. Ended up being Bo Blast and Dooley against Ikes and Drew. There's a lot going on in the comedy scene right now in the city. So people are back and forth and back through shows. So Lance had to step out and Bo was like available at the time. So he stepped in when G asked him. But it's a really good show. The first time we had comedians versus poets. And but just because you're a comedian doesn't mean you have to get up there and tell jokes. If you want to sing, you can sing. It's however you get your story out. So basically, people who can be on the show are people who write art in some way, shape, or form. But you do not have to present it in the same form that you are known to do it. It's a little competition. Winner gets a trophy. And then at the end, I'll bring all the winners together to go against each other.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
It's a lot of fun.
It is.
Let me know when that comes up again.
Yeah. It's
You have a date for the next one?
Don't have a date. I have a month.
Oh, okay.
Every other month, you said, right?
Yeah. So yeah, it'll be April, and I'm trying to figure April out because we'll have a paint and sip plus acting a fool on the same day, and then getting the storytelling show in as well in April.
Are we gonna keep doing that?
What?
Paint and sip and acting a fool on the same day?
No. It's just because of the day that it falls on. Marketing wise, it's a good idea.
Are we gonna do it in the same space?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's gonna
yeah.
That's gonna be dope.
Yeah, we're gonna turn the paint and sip, do a intermission, turnover.
That makes sense.
Acting a fool, and
I like that.
If you were there for the paint and sip, you can stay for acting a fool.
We're not gonna have to go across town.
No. It's not gonna be one of those. No, we're trying to not do that ever again.
What's acting a fool?
So
a comedy show.
Yeah, that's G and Dooley's comedy show.
We do all these different things. A comedy show. So G and Dooley do a comedy show. They also do a little skip, kind of podcast-ish thing where they do a fool of the week. But they just bring a bunch of comics together and have them do a little show.
Yeah,
they've done it a couple times. It was at Kelly's Olympian last time.
And at Norma Jean's before then.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, so we have a space that we're able to use for different things. So we're trying to really line up shows to just keep things coming.
So do you guys have any of this stuff posted for people to be able to know where to go to see these activities?
Mainly our social medias.
Okay.
And then we post in a lot of the groups that like tell people what's going on in Portland.
Okay.
That's mainly where most of that stuff is.
I'll put a page on one of my websites and just kind of
that'd be cool.
Current events. Yeah, so I'll keep you posted. I'll share with the audience too when I figure out which one I want to put that on.
I'll hold you to that.
All right, good.
What's up?
Hold me accountable. But anyway, so it's been a good week. It's for the most part, some ups and some downs, but I feel good on the inside, no matter what's going on. I feel like there's not much that can kind of change that for me. So I'm feeling good on a personal level.
Well, my week, work was going kind of smooth most of the week. Actually all week. Well, no, that's a lie. I had 2 participants in crisis all day, one day. And that seemed to engulf that whole day. But not like, their problems made my day bad. It just, I was worried for them. But other than that, work was going real smooth. Kids were good. And everything was cool until Friday, where I was told my brother passed, my brother Deon, which was shocking and like changed the trajectory of my weekend a little bit, at least the energy anyway. I was going to like cancel on everything, but I was like, I could hear him talking mess to me. So I was like, let me go ahead and still show up. So I did poetry at Urban League's Black History Month event. Like Cachet has some dealings with that every year. Like we were there last year. When we were there last year, D'Angelo and I, we were in this space because Trail had just passed away, Chillin' the Poet. And it's just weird doing it again this year, and I'm in this same spirit as my brother passed away. But I still went and did that, and I didn't do the mic on Friday. So we didn't do the mic on Friday, which is why our bag was not properly packed for yesterday. Because normally G and I make sure that the DJ bag that we carry around, it has everything we need to just plug into somebody's system. But on Fridays, some of that equipment and stuff, it's all stored together and used for the open mic. We weren't there to pack it, and we just like grabbed that bag, and they were like, okay. and everything wasn't in there. So we didn't do the mic on Friday because my brother is also like a brother to G. So we were not in a being around a bunch of random people kind of space. So Saturday went. I did the Urban League, and then right after that, had to go home, switch my mindset and stuff like that, and get ready for the storytelling show. And it was crazy because nothing went. I mean, some stuff went, but not most of it didn't go how it was supposed to go.
Mm-hmm.
We started later than usual because we had the sound issue, and like, I don't know, traffic was real bad because of the rain, and everybody's energy is off because almost everybody connected on the back side of things, everybody on the back side of things was connected to my brother, in some way. So I don't know. I feel like the storytelling portion was still good. Even before and after that, I felt like we were having a lot of business conversations and networking and stuff like that, and just enjoying, the space and the vibe or whatever. Yeah, I went home. I went immediately to sleep for 2 hours, and that was it. And now we're here. And then we're going to be in Tigard in a little bit. And then
what's in Tigard?
G is hosting an event. What is it called?
It's Urban League. It's somewhere Urban League, ain't it?
Is it Urban League?
Mm-hmm. That's what he said. I thought it was something connected to what you did yesterday. It sounded like it. So
it's got like Cameo on them, or doing like
that's in Tigard?
Yeah, at Washington.
Oh, the SEI thing.
Oh, I don't know whose thing it is. G's hosting a thing.
Okay.
I don't know nothing about it.
Tiger's out my way. That's why I asked.
Yeah,
we can show you the flyer. We got the flyer, but I
don't think I've seen it. I don't know.
Yeah, you shared. Well, maybe you didn't look at it. She shared it on Facebook.
I did.
And then you was like, we're talking. You're like, are you coming on the 23rd?
Oh, I think. Yeah. I think, you know what, my plan. I have anything I had planned before. Since Mark is here, he's gonna come help me at my house.
Oh, that's right.
That's the only thing that's been on my mind. So I guess I ain't thought about nothing else. I know I was like, ooh, SEI is having a thing today. I might. Oh no, I need to go fix this problem.
Okay.
I'm available through the week too. So you let me know if you need to reschedule.
It's me and my schedule. My schedule be too busy.
I'm easy.
I'm taking it. We're going to fix it because I'm tired.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to at least look at it and find out what it is.
All right.
You can help me troubleshoot.
But yeah, so it's been a weekend. It's been a long weekend. And so yeah, why my energy is where it's at. FYI.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's tough. How old was your brother?
Oh. He was 41.
Yeah, sorry to hear that. My week was pretty good. I took my girlfriend to the airport. She's in Hawaii in nice warm weather.
Good for her.
Left me at home with the 3 dogs, but that's cool. Good for her. She's having a good time. I'm retired, but I was asked if I would come back to where I worked teaching electrical apprentices for a couple days, so the other instructor could take a class that was going on. And I like that. I like teaching. I like getting in front of students again. And it felt good. I was a little nervous. I don't know why. I've taught this material before. But it went well. I think it went well. They seemed to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So I did that for 2 days, Wednesday, Thursday. And then yesterday I taught another class that I do for students that want to come in and practice their conduit bending skills. And that's always a plus for me because they're appreciative and they learn new things. And yeah, it's a great day for me. So it was a good week. I was really tired last night though when I got home. Yeah. And went to bed early, set my alarm so I could show up here on time. But overall it's been a good week for me. Yeah.
That's good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you talk about kind of moving on into retirement and getting comfortable. Mark is that coworker. He likes to say good morning and then send me a nice picture of him chilling, relaxing in his hot tub with his hot coffee in front of the picture. I'm like, thanks, Mark. Thanks for rubbing it in.
It's not to be mean. It's just to let you know what a wonderful space joking. I'm in.
I'm like, I'm so happy for you. I'm glad. I wish I could be doing that right now, but that's what's up. I think it's dope that you get to do that. That you get to wake up and do what it is you feel like doing. I kind of had I don't get that experience very often. But when I do, I wake up and I don't know what to do with myself. I'm like, wait, I don't have any responsibility. Like, my kids and I don't have to go to work. I don't have anything to do. We don't have an event. What would Kenita like to do? And then I'll go do something that I really, most time I just go paint or something. But still, it feels good when you have that. So I'm glad that you get to have that.
Yeah, that was last weekend. That was weird. Mm-hmm. Like, remember, I think we both during the week was like, "You sure we don't have nothing this weekend?" Mm-hmm. And then my kids left me, and I was like, "Okay,
right." Like,
I'll work on some of this business stuff.
Exactly.
So on a regular basis, you guys, it's wonderful. You guys will enjoy that when you get to that. I would imagine. I mean, for sure.
Mm-hmm. So, what are some new things you started doing since you retired?
Well, I am a bit of a collector, unfortunately, of stuff. I love building things and making things, like somebody will say, I need to figure out a way to hang this up on the wall or whatever it is. Right. Mm-hmm. And so my brain goes, okay, what do I have? What kind of material do I have around my house or my garage? Mm-hmm. And how can I make this work the way I want to do it? Usually it's for myself, but I do it for other people as well. Mm-hmm. So I really enjoy doing that kind of stuff, but I have too much stuff. I have this saying, when I go grab one thing and three things fall, irritates the heck out of me. Mm-hmm. And I'm working on getting rid of stuff slowly. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like that. I just started, that was something I did yesterday. I spent most of my day cleaning out. I have a hall closet that has just become like, I don't even know. Every time you open the door, something falls off one of the shelves. And it's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And so I just started one shelf at a time, taking everything out and then reorganizing that shelf and what needs to stay, what needs to go. And I plan to keep doing that. But, I have a plan on where I'm going to go next. So it's almost like spring cleaning because I'm like, oh, the clutter. Why do I have all this stuff? It was useful at one time, and then you keep on like, oh, I don't want to buy it again, or I might use it. And then do you ever really use it again? Yeah. So I'm trying to go through that stuff. Yeah.
I think a good thing to remember too is, I know we've probably all been in this situation where we had to help with somebody who maybe passed and they have all this stuff. Mm-hmm. And, I think about, I don't really want my kids to have to go through all my stuff. And like, why does he have 13 headlamps,
right?
Or 40 flashlights,
right?
Yeah. So there's that too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I've been working on kind of cleaning that stuff up. I told you earlier, I haven't had a car payment in years, and now I have two because I bought a motorhome.
Okay.
And I bought a new car because I had to replace my old car. Mm-hmm. So now my driveway kind of looks like a car lot.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, I got stuff to work on.
Yeah.
House stuff, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
You stay busy.
I stay busy. Yeah. I'm thinking about reconnecting with hospice again too. Mm-hmm. I did that at some point and as a volunteer, and I did enjoy that. So I'm thinking about doing that again.
Yeah. Good. Mm-hmm. Awesome. I think just working towards, having a pension or being able to do that. I know everybody can't do that. Everybody doesn't have that benefit. That's one thing I like about being union and knowing that every hour I work, they put money into a pension so that when I retire, I'm not having to get another job doing something else. You know what I mean? And
unless you want to.
Yeah, unless I want to. Unless I need a little extra spending money.
Some walking around money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anyway.
It's interesting you say that real quick. I just, sometimes it's like my nephew who just likes to flip me shit, but he'll say something about it, unions, and I go, my union and the way they took care of business is the reason that I'm retired at 60. Okay. So if you got something to say about that, let me hear it. You know, have a comeback for that.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. And good. It's just to get people thinking. Yeah. And I know all unions are not the same.
Right. For sure.
Yeah. People have different experiences, and that's unfortunate. Yeah. But it is nice to be a part of a good one. And I tell people, I know a lot of folks who, you know, they've never been a part of a union. They don't really understand it. It doesn't make any sense. And I think it's cool, but then they'll badmouth the union like it's something negative, and it's like it should never be anything negative. It's really for the benefit of the employee to be a part of the union. You know, it's for you as the worker. Like, what could be bad about it? Now, sometimes, you know, there are some unions that have a bad reputation, or the conditions on jobs can change in a way that, but you know, like it should never be a bad thing. And so people who are not informed, it's like, get informed, learn about it, instead of just, you know, being like, oh, well, I just don't have one, so oh well, because maybe you could be a part of one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nice to build towards your future. When I was self-employed, I had none of that.
Right.
You know, every hour I worked, I got paid. That money went to bills. That money went to whatever. You know, I have health care, and I didn't have any of that. And to know, you know, the cost of it, if you have to pay for it out of your own pocket, that's a lot of money, you know, to take, especially when you have a family, you know. And so anyway, there's just a lot of benefits to it. But I like being able to do outreach to high school students, even though they don't really understand the benefit of any of that, right? Telling them about the program and trying to draw them in. Like, you know, you don't have to be an electrician, just construction. Just think about the trades, because a lot of the trades are a part of a union.
I mean, electrical is the best, but
Yes.
Even if they don't understand it at this moment, if they do go that trades route, when they get into it, they can remember, I remember that one lady was saying, you know, this, that, and the third. It'll sink in when it's supposed to. I think that's cool that you get to do that. I was only a part of a union with the county, and it never seemed, I don't know, like the way y'all talk about a union, that's not what I experienced. It wasn't like a warm, welcoming space. It wasn't like, there seems to be like a unity but amongst like your union. I guess that makes sense, right? But I didn't have that experience. But it wasn't like I had a bad experience, so like I'm anti-union. It didn't offer me anything to feel anything different one way or another. You know what I'm saying?
It was
so I
just
was just
something
like,
you were a part of.
It was like you pay your dues, and it existed. If you were in any trouble or had any issue, go talk to them. That's basically what I got out of it. We weren't like, I don't know, maybe it wasn't a union long enough to experience it differently. But
what's interesting to me is with technology nowadays, a lot of the people that come into our apprenticeship, the electrical apprenticeship, you know, have done different jobs, have life experiences, and they're maybe in their 30s or 40s, and they do research to find out what are the benefits, and then a lot of times they'll come to us and they'll say, yeah, I looked you guys up. I looked at the benefit packages you guys have, the work share you have, and I'm tired of sitting behind a desk or not using their degree that they got, and they get into our program for those reasons. So, yeah.
How did you get into trades?
I got in the trades. So years ago, I was working at a gas station pumping gas, and back then a lot of the gas stations, they actually had bays where they did oil changes and brake jobs and stuff like that, right? And there was a guy working there that we became pretty good friends, and he was a certified mechanic, but he was also in the electrical apprenticeship program. Back then, it was in the mid 80s maybe, and there wasn't a lot of electrical work in Portland going on, so he was laid off as an apprentice. So, of course, it could be because he was a certified mechanic. You know, he could go and do that while he was waiting to go back to work as an apprentice. So that's where I met him. He was a mechanic at the gas station, and we're kind of opposites. He's super smart. I don't think he's ever gotten drunk. Okay. I mean, but we just became good friends. And once he started going back to work when the economy picked up a little bit, and he got into, or he was working again as an apprentice, he showed me one of his paychecks, and I was like,
okay,
dude, I could do that. You know,
I could get that, Jake.
So, and I grew up with my dad being a self-employed appliance repairman. So I'm mechanically inclined, you know? So yeah, I thought, yeah, that looks pretty good. I think I'll try to do that. And it took me 3 times before I finally got in. So it was I had to work for it. But man, when I look back at it now, I'm very blessed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how I got in.
Okay. So that wasn't something like you knew you always wanted to do, or?
Not really, no. I did like a lot of people. I worked at a restaurant. I worked at a bakery, a gas station. I was a janitor at a warehouse for a while. And it wasn't until I was 26 that I got into the trade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One thing that I think I was looking for, I knew in high school that I wanted to do construction personally, but I didn't know anybody in construction. I didn't know anything about any of the programs available and what different jobs you can do in construction. I just wanted to work with tools and make things. Like, that was it. That was my only interest in high school for me. But then they, when I was in high school, it was go to college or you're not going to be anything. And it's like, what do I go to college for? I want to be an engineer. So I did. I went to school for engineering. And, first I went to school for nursing. No, that ain't for me.
What was the no? I'm just curious.
Being in college, I did not want to go to college after being in school for all my whole life. I was like, go to more school. Now I got to pay to go to school. Like, for what though? Like, I would rather get out of school with something I can do instead of just an education. And so that's why I like CTE programs and things that schools are implementing now, where they are giving kids actual skills that they can use in life when they get out of high school instead of just a diploma. The diploma is going to get me into college and then I got to do it again. So that was it. I was just tired of school. I was tired of homework and learning about stuff that I wasn't interested in, I think was the biggest part. So yeah, and I don't really like people like that. I'm not a people person. I'm just, I'm an introvert. I just like to kind of stay to myself. And if I could do work on my own or like in small groups, that's better for me. But
I don't want to have to people.
I don't want to have to people every day for work sometimes.
It's interesting, an introvert doing outreach, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes. And so people don't believe me.
But it's focused. That's what I be trying to tell people.
Yeah, I have a purpose to this job. And so, I don't have a problem talking to people about this opportunity because I think the opportunity sells itself. I'm not having to sell it. I'm just sharing my experience. Here's an opportunity for you to make a livable wage and get an education free of charge to you, what I mean? And they build your pension. Like, there's so many benefits to it. I'm just sharing the details. And if it's something that interests you, let me know. I'll help you get in if I can. So I feel like it's an easy sell. It's nothing I have to do any extra for. But at the same time, when I'm not doing that, I like to be by myself,
She's got a cat now, so she can be by herself.
Okay, so let's talk about this cat because she talk about my cat every week. I feel like
I haven't heard about the cat in a while, so I'm looking forward to this. What's going on with the cat now?
Well, remember my cousin gave me a cat.
I remember.
Okay, her name was Sugar. I love that cat. But then Sugar got outside and her little hot tail had some babies. And she had 6 babies. And then we had 7 cats in my house. And then there just became a point where I was fed up and they had reached the age where you can get rid of them or give them away, if you will.
Get rid of them.
So I started giving them away. I was offering them to students. You want a cat?
I remember that.
Yeah, I got students that got some cats. Cool. Please come take 1, 2, 3. I don't care. And so the remainder of the cats, including Sugar, I gave away. Although I kind of regret, I like Sugar. Sugar was my little partner. And one of the cats we gave to my husband's cousin. And then she's got things going on, so she asked if we could take the cat for a little while. And we've had the cat for
10 years.
Since November, I think. And she's allergic to cats.
Oh, no.
And animals. So she comes over, but not very often because I got to deep clean the house and all this
air purifier and all this stuff.
Yeah, but I bought an air purifier to help, with that. But this little cat.
She prefers the cat.
Is, no. She said, my cousins hit me up. It was like, bring my cat home on March 8th. I'm like, okay, I am. I'm going to drop her off. Because the cat is like, my husband, my youngest daughter is a daddy's girl. And she follows this man around everywhere he goes. If she could live on his body as his skin, she would.
I was about to say, if she could open the skin and get in, she would.
She would. Absolutely. And so I understand his frustration because he'd be like, can I breathe? And she'd just be like, what? You're my dad. I love you. What? And this cat is like a her to me.
Oh.
This cat follows me around everywhere I go. She sits outside my bedroom door all night and she cries. I swear the cat is talking.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell? And she just cries until I let her in. And then she won't leave me alone. Everywhere I go, she's right there. She comes, and she's a very moody cat. She'll like rub her body up against you because it feels good, I guess. And then she'll get to a point where if you touch this part of her body, she get mad at you. But she's putting that part of the body on you. And I didn't do anything. I have nothing to do with this encounter. This is all you. And then she gets mad and acts like she's going to attack you. How you going to come rub up against me and then attack me in the same sentence? She does it all the time. It's frustrating.
Is she going away in March then?
Yes. She's going to go back home. I hope so.
You should have seen
my
your
cousin
face.
can have this cat back. And I'm ready for her to go. Mm-hmm. So I started, because, I listen to the cat. So it's like a baby. Babies have different cries for different things. Mm-hmm. And so a meow is one thing, but there's a different tone when it needs to eat. It's a different tone if the litter box is not cleaned out. Mm-hmm. And the cat was making this noise like, it's an emergency. I use the bathroom. And I'm like, Mayana, is the litter box clean? And she's like, huh? She told the cat to shut up. And I said, the cat is telling you that she needs something and it's probably her litter box. So you need to go clean it out. This is her job every day. Mm-hmm. I should never have to tell you this because if you're doing your job every day, the cat won't meow at you that way. And so she's like, oh. I'm like, listen to the cat. She didn't tell the cat to shut up. Like, the cat is inconveniencing her. I said, this is why the cat comes to me because I understand, I guess. But man, everybody else just tell the cat to shut up. Mm-hmm. They just bruised.
Just like when Sugar was looking for her babies.
Sugar was crying because we had given some of her kittens away. Mm. And Renauda was at the house.
And she was crying. He was like, what's wrong with you? Shut up. Da, 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 da. And I was like, she's looking for her babies. Because she was asleep when some of your friends came over and got two cats. She woke up and you could tell she walking around the house like hollering her kids' names. And she was like, why won't you hush? And I was like, because you stole her babies. She's looking for her kids.
All these cats. Like you have dogs.
How would you? I said, how would you feel if you went to sleep until you woke up until your kids was gone?
You gonna look for them.
You'd be like, hey, start calling their names. That's what the cat is doing. Mm-hmm. He was like, oh.
Well, that makes sense.
Right.
I think if you can connect with a cat that well to know what their sounds are, you should have an animal like that. Mm-mm. No?
Mm-mm. I would take Sugar back. I would. I like Sugar. Sugar would get on me. I mean, everywhere I went, Sugar was just like what this cat does, except the moodiness. Sugar didn't have that. Mm-hmm. Sugar would just chill. She would follow me. Same thing. And I never wanted this cat. I didn't want any of these cats. Yeah. I don't want none of these animals at my house. I have enough children, and that's enough work. But Sugar was cool until Sugar got outside. And then, she got a taste of outside. She wanted to go outside all the time. Mm-hmm. And she had a litter. I said, oh, no, we not. And I can't afford to go get a cat fixed. I make good money. Yeah, okay. But I can't afford $300-$400 for. No, I just had to give her away.
So if it comes up again, just know that sometimes some of these places, they'll have a clinic where they'll let people come in and do it real cheap. Or maybe it's subsidized.
It is subsidized. Yeah. So it's dependent on your income. I make too much.
Oh, well. Mm-hmm. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm like, well, I guess I just can't. have a cat, but this cat also, if this cat get outside, it's going home no matter what. It's not, she's cool. I like her a little bit, but she too moody and she follows me around. I feel bad for my husband now. Now I understand what that feels like, because my kids didn't do that. I'd be like, give me my space. They know that mom needs her space.
Man.
Don't smother me. And this cat is smothering me, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said left you at home with your 3 dogs.
Yeah.
He has a little dog. He's so cute. Diesel.
Yeah.
And he made me want a dog.
She's trying to get a whole zoo of animals.
No, I'm not. We have a turtle. The gecko. We had a gecko.
Turtle's not a pet.
What is it?
It's just this. I mean, what does a turtle do?
It just chills. We let it walk around the house.
He walk around the house.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, I let him out because
I never had a turtle. I just when I think of a turtle,
so small. To me, it needs to be in a bigger space. Like it should have a space to get around. Turtles are old. They've been here longer than we have. Most of them.
They live a long time too, right?
Yeah.
He'd be all downstairs and stuff.
He went down the stairs.
He goes downstairs?
He did.
Did he fall? Did
I
you
don't know how he got down there, but he got down in the basement.
And he
was chilling.
With his feet up in the air?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, he figured it out.
I wonder if he actually crawled down the stairs.
I don't know.
How big is he?
He's probably about that big.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. His name is Jimmy. He has a little crack on his shell. He came like that. But yeah, we let him out because we keep him in his cage. But then it's like, and then he'll always go to a certain corner in the house. You find him there asleep underneath the table or something like that all the time.
Do they poop in the house?
No.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, not that I found.
But he don't be out like that, like days.
Yeah, not all day and all night. He just once in a while we'll let him out for a little bit and then we put him back in there. So he, they need a bigger space to move around.
Yeah.
And I think that also helps them to grow. He's still a smaller turtle. I don't know how old this turtle is, but it's kind of cool. The gecko, however, we had a gecko named Pineapple. I think we only had that thing for like 2 years. 3 years. I think maybe 3 years. But I think we could have had it for 6 years, according to, like the lifespan is a little longer than 3. So I'm like, to my son, that gecko died prematurely. No. You got to do better.
Yeah.
Take care of these animals, but I don't think I want any more animals.
It's weird when you've had animals for a while and then all of a sudden you don't.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of years ago, a few years back, I guess, my dog passed away and my cat passed away, and it was weird because I was like, I don't have to go home right away. I could be gone for a couple of days and it won't be a big deal.
Yeah.
But
yeah, now, like you said, I've got 3 dogs and it's kind of a busy house.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
Mm-hmm.
And our dogs are a little more needy than cats are. So I don't know. I feel like cats, you just make sure they got their stuff in there and they good. Dogs are like, excuse me, I haven't seen you in 7 hours. Where are you at?
Dogs are so, most dogs that I've found anyway, are that unconditional love, people talk about, because they just, you could be gone for an hour, you could be gone for 4 days, and they're just excited to see you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been fun. Yeah, I had my dog and she had her dog, and then we got a dog now. So
yeah. Okay. Well, let's talk about your. I guess I want to talk about what I inspired you, I guess, to do with your recordings and how.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like when I was first came up with the idea of Talk to Them, me and Mark were working in the lab with boot camps, and I was really talking about it because my dad had just died, and it was like listening to my aunt's story. It's like, that's really cool. Sit down and listen to people and talk about their life and hear things that maybe they never even talked about, their experiences or things like that. And so you said you started recording.
So you gave me the idea to do this, and growing up, my dad's family had 10 kids and my mom's had 18 basically. 15 from the same parents. And so growing up, I didn't even know my aunts and uncles' names, a lot of them, right? Because my mom's family is mostly in California. But my dad passed away probably about 13 years ago. And, having conversations with you, I was thinking, man, there's a lot of stuff I would have liked to ask my dad, just basic stuff,
Mm-hmm.
And my dad was thinking about too. My dad was really smart. He could do plumbing. He could do electrical. He could put a roof on. He could build stairs. A lot of things that I don't even know how to do, because I didn't ask. We grew up and we're busy, and it's not always cool to hang out with your parents. And then, like a lot of things in life, we look back and we're like, wow, I wish I would have done this. So you having that idea about interviewing people, I thought, I want to do that. I'm retired now. I want to learn more about my aunts and uncles, or really giving them opportunity to share something, which is pretty cool, right? So you gave me a list of questions. I added a few questions. I just moved it around, which is what you said. Do whatever. If you want any of these, fine. So I think I had a list of about 35 questions, and the first person I interviewed was my mom, and that went pretty well. And that was fun. And I learned some stuff about my mom I didn't know. Just who was your best friend in high school? What was your favorite teacher? Who was your mentor growing up? Just these type of questions. And then I went down to California, where a lot of my mom's family is, and I interviewed about 4 or 5 uncles. And it was cool. And I learned some things about some of my family. Because at a point, some of the questions are, share as much as you'd want to about this, like military experience. I had an interesting conversation with one of my uncles who was in Vietnam. Yeah, and in combat. And then another one of my uncles who told me he used to run drugs on a motorcycle from Mexico to California. He said, I didn't do them, but I just was doing what I was told.
Okay.
Anyway, it was cool, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm not done with it. I'm going to expand it to just more than just family, just anybody really, I guess, when I get to it. So that was pretty cool. I had a great time doing it, and they enjoyed it. And there's a couple maybe relatives that, that aren't as close to the family for different reasons, and maybe drifted apart a little bit. And I was able to get those guys to come and meet me too. And it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. I've really started. I feel like it just opened up so much. Like, I never really used to talk to people about their experiences. I feel like we live in the day-to-day of our own lives so much. And that, sometimes it's good to just step back and listen to somebody else's experience. And you might learn something, or the advice, or there are just so many things that go unsaid due to a lack of time or just effort or whatever it is. And I think it's really cool to see people light up, especially when they're talking about something that, that is a passion for them, or that they enjoy to do, or why they choose to do that. Because I know one thing in life that I've really learned is that everything you do is a choice. Everybody's just making a choice to do this or do that. And so, listening to why people make the choices they make, I think is just really cool to listen to.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, the light is bright, so I can't see how.
I can't see the time at all.
But
44.
Okay. What else? What should we talk about? Is there anything? I think you always give a lot of advice to the students, so you have a lot of things you could talk about.
I want to go back and talk just a little bit more about the interview thing.
Okay.
I would suggest that for people to do that. And it's easy to be one of those things where, I'm going to do that someday. Well, someday is going to be gone. And it is. I think it's a. You'll get benefits out of it that you didn't even realize, of just, having something structured, writing some questions down, and asking your parents, or if your grandparents are still alive, ask your grandparents things. And you don't have to record it if you don't want to. I didn't do video. I just did audio, but I guess I just wanted to throw that in there again, just to put it in people's heads to consider doing that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I'll put a list of questions that might be a good idea for people to ask if they want to ask, questions to learn more about people's history.
Yeah.
In a way that might make people feel respected or heard in order to hear it. Maybe I'll put that on the webpage.
Okay.
I need to update my webpage anyway.
I need to get mine together.
What was it that you asked me a second ago? Sorry. I just wanted to finish.
Oh, I don't know. I was saying
advice. She said you give a lot of good advice.
Yeah, I was saying something to talk about.
Oh. Yeah, I like to share things that make my life simple.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times I would share that with students, about what you choose to let yourself get worked up over, angry maybe, that you actually have control over that for the most part. For me, I have an issue with drivers, and
me too.
And I'm working on it. There's a lot of dumb drivers.
There is. Like 99.7% of them.
We'll be driving down the road and I might hit my high beams at somebody and she'll say, "Why'd you do that?" And I go, "Well, because I did this." Like I got to be the police or something. You know what I mean? And I'm working on that. Right? I'm a work in progress. And the other day I was thinking somebody was driving like a hole, and I was like, "Well, you know what? I bet they're not very responsible and they're late for work. They were late for work a lot and they're going to get fired if they're late one more time. So that guy's got to drive like that. And you know what? I'm retired. I'll get there when I get there."
Yeah.
I have to remind myself about stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I started saying maybe they have an emergency. Like when I'm about to like flip, I'm like, nope. Maybe they have an emergency and they need to hurry up and get to wherever they're going. And then what is annoying is when they're doing all this and you keep pulling up at the red light next to them.
Yeah, right?
Like
you just look at it like, what did you gain?
Yeah. And we're still I say it every time, we still at the same red light.
Yeah.
You did all of that and we at the same red light. And we're going to do it again in about 60 feet.
It's a good reminder, right? To be kind to people too. You never know what their struggle is, right? I mean, there's that saying. I saw it a long time ago, and the one I saw was by Robin Williams, who I really, really liked.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, be kind to people because you never know what they're going through.
Mm-hmm.
That's a real good reminder. Other advice with the students, I talk a little bit. When I taught fifth term class, at the end of the fifth term, we had somebody come in from Serenity Lane, which is a place for rehabilitation and addicts and stuff like that. And I always liked it because that gave me opportunity to talk a little bit about myself to the students, real lightly. I just kept it real simple, but I just said, I used to have an issue with drinking, and in fact, this last July was 40 years that I quit drinking. Mm. And thank you. And I try to just keep it real light and real simple to tell them that, I just realized it was something that wasn't serving me very well. And I'm not one of those people that can drink like normal people. And I just tried to keep it real simple. And over the years, I've had people reach out to me, students, say, "Hey, what do you think?" And I go, "Well, I can't really diagnose you. And it's a self-diagnosed thing. If you're, alcoholic or drug addict," I said, "but I can take you somewhere where, you can just be around similar people."
Mm-hmm.
And that I really like that part of, that part of my life, that I can share that with people to give some people hope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's been cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's, I just want to say, from somebody who works with people who are, a lot of people still in the throes of addiction, some people in recovery, some people who haven't recognized that they have a problem yet, that one of the things that people tend to say in our conversations is it's so helpful. Like people don't understand like how your testimonies help people. Even sharing that just a little bit is helpful for people who are still in addiction or trying to stay in recovery. I just know it helps people feel like, okay, there are people who can get through this, because maybe my only examples of this disease are people who don't make it out. So seeing people on the other side of it, which we know that recovery is a daily minute by minute, second by second choice, but seeing people who have done it for years, it helps those who maybe aren't ready to be in recovery, or they're in recovery and need help staying as strong as they would like to be. So I appreciate that you share that with those students, because I know for a fact it helps people just from the work that I do.
Thank you. I got to remind myself too that, because we all get busy in our life and have stuff going on. But like I heard somebody tell me a long time ago, when I said, yeah, I've just been kind of busy. I haven't been to, meetings in a little while. I said, I've been kind of doing my own thing. And they're like, oh, really? That's great. And I was thinking, yeah, that's great. I'm doing my own thing. And then that person said to me, I'm just glad those people weren't at home doing their own thing when I came in and was looking for some help. So it was like,
whoa,
well played.
Right.
And I'd like to share, I guess, one more thing I was thinking about the other day. This was a number of years ago. Me and my brother-in-law went to a meeting, an AA meeting, and there was somebody new that came in, and they were talking. They were listening, of course, to people talk, and then they kind of spoke a little bit about their experience. And me and my brother-in-law talked to this person after the meeting, and we had such an amazing conversation. I mean, it was just real cool and real, it was a real conversation. And after we were done talking and me and my brother-in-law were heading back home, I told him, I go, you know what? I feel like I just did some coke or something. I said, I feel so high. And he goes, me too. And it was weird to have a natural high about helping somebody else and knowing, that it was a real connection. Yeah, that's that was an interesting aha moment for me to feel to connect to somebody like that.
Yeah.
But that's what helps people.
It really does.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing. At this last conference, this EWMC conference, I go every year. I've gone since 2014. And this year we took some students, and there was a student who asked, is there a space that we can have set up for an AA meeting? Right? Because all you hear a lot of talk about, everybody's this after party room or hospitality room with free alcohol, this, and this. I mean, it's throughout the conferences, not just that conference, but almost every conference. And it was like, but you never hear about that. There's never a space or necessarily mentioned about the opposite of that. What about how many people in here who are maybe struggling through that or dealing with it every day? And so he had asked me, and I was like, I never thought about it because I've never needed it. You know what I mean? But I was grateful that he asked, because now in my mind, anytime I go to a conference, that can be something I advocate for, that if nobody else, because I know a lot of people who are putting on the conferences. So, like, hey, can we make this space available for anybody who might want it? And now going forward, that's going to be something that is offered definitely at that conference. But, so if you don't know, you don't know, right? Yeah, like I don't necessarily need that space, but, it doesn't mean that space is not useful for somebody. And just because they didn't ask for it doesn't mean it wouldn't be helpful.
That is great in so many ways. That person knew that was something that they may need, and if they need it, then probably others need it. And then for you to be the person to receive that message openly, and then for change to be affected, the domino effect, but for change to be affected after that, like if it hadn't have been for that person asking a question, how long would it be before that was even considered a thing to do?
Right. Yeah, it was like, I know his story. I've talked to him, and it wasn't even, he said he was listening to some other people that he was hanging out with, and he is a recovering alcoholic, and he was like, I guess that would be a good idea. But he just heard a conversation, and that sparked him. He was like, maybe we could have, because he would go to one, and so he asked me, and was like, and then I asked the person who put it, can we have a space available? Can we have coffee available? How long can it be available? And then I plan to pose that question to the IO and let them know that they should make that space available at every conference that we have, no matter what it is.
That is very cool. You did that. It's also a reminder for me that, when I was going through my stuff, I had 3 MIPs. That's minor possession.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know you can get a minor possession by consumption?
Mm-hmm.
I had one of those too. I mean, it's in you. It's not on you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I had 2 access to open containers, and I talked a cop out of a DUI back in the day when you could. I walked through a fire and burnt the heck out of my foot. When we were camping, and woke up the next day and that my foot's all bandaged up. I did stuff like that, and a normal person would say, that ain't right. That's not normal. But a person, who might be struggling with that, doesn't really see it that way. And when you can say, here's your house, here's your relationship, maybe your wife, your family, and here's the substance, which one are you going to pick? And they pick the substance, that doesn't make sense to normal people. So for, to reach out like that and give somebody that avenue, is pretty cool, because it's hard for us to understand things that we can't relate to. And one thing for sure that's given me that reminder, like for instance, I'll say, I don't really understand how somebody will take their hard-earned money and go to a video machine or go to the card table and gamble. But I understand addiction, right? So I need to, so I guess my point is, just because you don't understand something doesn't mean it's not real. And it is hard for people to relate. I had one guy tell me a long time ago, we worked hard on a job and he's going to buy everybody beer. And he was not a pleasant person. So for him to do this was a big deal. And we went to the bar, and he says, you going to have a beer? And I go, no, I'm just going to have a soda. He goes, why that? And I said, well, because I'm alcoholic. And he said, you're too young to be an alcoholic, And my thought was, I wish you were right, but you just don't know. But it's a reminder for everybody, right? That we don't have to understand something. And for you, Kenitha, to not have that affliction, if you will, to be alcoholic, but to be sensitive to that, that's freaking awesome. And more people need to be that way.
Yeah.
I didn't used to be this person. I had an issue with people who had addictions. I think we talked about this before. We was talking about my dad. Because my dad was on drugs. And as far as I seen it objectively as I could, and not because anything my mom said, she never badmouthed him or said anything ill about him. But just getting older and observing the situation and reflecting on information given to me by him and others, like, you chose drugs over your kids, and I don't understand that. Like, because even as a parent right now, there's nothing I'd choose over my children. But I have an addictive personality. So there are things like, if I want it and I like it, I'm going to get it, keep it, do it, whatever it is. So part of the reason why I never did drugs, being a child of an addict, it makes you a little more susceptible. But I was like, because of that, because of my dad choosing drugs over his children, I had a problem with addicts. And then one day, I think I said this on the podcast already, there was this whole understanding that your parents are just humans, spirits having a human experience, doing the best that they can. And I think especially as you get older and you become a parent and you start doing things and your kids are like, you're the worst person on the planet. And you're like, whoa, like, I'm doing my best here. And given, that same grace, it started to change my views. And then getting more educated on addiction in general, and understanding that it's, okay, you may have had the choice to do this thing this one time or a couple of times, but the addiction was not a choice. The choice was to do the stuff in the beginning. After that, it's a disease until you can get to a space to where your brain says, let's go get help. And that window can be short. Like, if you don't go get help now, then it's over. We've tried to get people into recovery who are like, yes, I want to go, I'm ready, blah, blah, blah. But they can't get them in for like 4 days. Now, it's 4 days later and I'd rather get high. Or I'd rather get drunk because 4 days ago I was ready and y'all wasn't. So I say that to say I wish there was more inpatient things that were a little more like, you ready right now? Okay, I'm going to take you here. And even if you can just be here for a week or two until we can get you into an actual program so you don't miss that window. Saying all that to say it took a lot of work for me to get from, it doesn't make any sense. You shouldn't choose anything over your children, especially getting high or getting drunk or whatever, and then being educated and being like, I'll give you grace. You still have to, be held accountable for your shit, but I'll give you grace in the, I'm not just gonna assume you're a bad person that chose to do some stupid shit over your kids. Because that's how I looked at my dad for a long time. But that's stupid. It doesn't make sense.
Right.
But it was a learning experience for me.
It's good that you were open to that too, though. I mean, these experiences that you had to see it differently and that's a load off your shoulders too, I think.
It is. Oh, it is. It is. That energy I was holding on to.
Yeah.
It was because of my experience with my dad, but then it was every person I encountered with that, and holding grudges for people who I don't have any connection to, just seeing this drug addict not taking care of their kids, or this chick, she be drunk, laid out wherever, and her kids just be whatever, or, this guy, and then holding on to that too. That wasn't even my business,
right.
But I wanted to be angry about it. Like you said, you have a choice on what you let get you worked up, and that was one of those things. But I'm not there anymore.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's time to give our gems.
Okay.
Do what?
So gems. So we always end on a positive note. So a piece of advice or something to take away from our conversation today to the audience, anybody watching. And so mine would be for anybody who is putting on an event to hold space for that. Give space for an AA meeting, or give space, especially if it's an extended thing. So it's more than a day. You have classes and drinking is involved and things like that, where you're encouraging people to come together a certain way. Also hold space for people to do opposite of the drinking, Give them a space, make it comfortable, coffee, something to snack on, and an area that's quiet away from everywhere else where they can have a conversation if that's what they want to do. Just to consider that if you are responsible for hosting a conference or something like that, just to consider making a space available. That's my gym. Hopefully it helps.
I think mine is just going to be to, given my last couple of days, to love on your loved ones, and allow them to love on you, because that's a thing too. But like, I'm saying that, like, I didn't meet my brother until we were in our early 30s, and now we're in our early 40s, right? So, or is it mid 40s now?
It's early.
It's still early. Okay. I'm not sure. I don't know where it changes, but it was weird because once we clicked and connected, it was like kind of like when me and Kanitha met. Like, it's weird to be like, wait, you wasn't there when I was growing up. But when people would ask me, what's your brother like? And I'm like, he's just like me, just a little rougher around the edges. And I just think that's the, masculine, feminine difference between he and I. But I feel like, we probably could have seen each other more and did more, but we really connected with each other, and we really spent quality time with each other and talked and laughed and understood each other in ways that you can only a sibling could understand you. And he was a picture taker. And so if you seen him, he was taking a picture with you. If he knew you and he loved you and he seen you, he's like, oh, let's take a picture. Because he loved capturing those memories. So saying all that to say, just love on your loved ones, allow them to love on you, and make the best of the time that you have together. Because you don't know when that time will be up. And yeah.
Thank you. Mark, what's your gym?
I think mine will be one that I work on myself too, is to try to have understanding for other people. And just because you don't know what they're going through and you don't understand why they make certain decisions that they do, they still need to be loved and they still need to be cared, you know, to have empathy for other people. I think just a reminder for us that, for just because we don't understand something doesn't mean that these people, you know, are bad or don't deserve consideration and kindness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's a reminder for me too. I'm not a saint by any means, but I try to keep remembering that that's important.
Accept the imperfections.
Yeah. Everybody wants to feel love and they want to be happy and just, you know, I think that's it.
All right, thank you. Well, thank you for joining us today on Talk to Them.
Where every story counts and every voice matters.
She got it. Thank you.